What's up, my friends? Today in this video, we're going to be looking at all the best plays that I can find at my NBA First Look. We're going to look at both the games and the player props on my right. That'll be your left side of the screen. That is yesterday's VIP recap. We made 1.77 units, went 4-2 overall on the model and my picks. Here's the full calendar. We're up 33.81 units profit in 29 days of NBA. Hopefully today I can keep it hot for you. Let's get to it. Currently looking at Novig. We've got a great game to start us off here. Houston on the road against Cleveland. -1.5 they're laying on the road. Very interesting looking game. I'm using NBA.com and the official injury report as of 7:30 a.m. So for the Rockets, no DFS. No Jabari Smith, potentially, as he is questionable. Fred VanVleet still out. Darius Garland out for the Cavs. Sam Merrill been getting decent minutes. Max Strus is also out. Merrill being questionable. Few plays that are very interesting in this game. First off, Kevin Durant has been so friggin' hot. He's hitting those mid-range jumpers left and right now. Always worth an interesting look here, in my opinion. I think his PRA might be a little low for a game that could be down to the wire. Kevin Durant, always a player that will play a ton of minutes in close games. As you see, close one here against Orlando, 45. He's putting up 35, 37, 36. When you get a guy as proficient and as efficient as a scorer as Kevin Durant is, yeah, I always got some interest in him on the court, and he can rack up stats in the other categories. Another play here, Donovan Mitchell been scoring at will this season. You know, it sat the other day. The team got fined $100,000 for Mobley and Mitchell sitting on this day. Something to do with their protocols of deeming them out. 31, 30, 37 since his return, but he's been scoring at will this year. You got to think in a matchup like this that he's just going to shoot the ball 20 plus times. You know, assuming this game stays close, that could be an interesting play. But here, honestly, looking at all the players in place for this game, for me, it's baby Jokic. Yeah, it's Alperen Sengun. My man is a rebounding machine, but he distributes the orange very well. He's putting together potentially his best season so far. And Sengun can really go off in any category right now. Points, assists, his rebounds, and you can see 30, 12, and 8 is well within reach for him any given night. And again, another player just like Kevin Durant. If the game is close, regardless of opponents, he's going to play. If they're doing small ball, they're going to, run big. He can run out there for matching the size of the opponents, 36 minutes, 39, 36, 44. And when he's on the court that much and he's this talented, it's kind of just a battle of attrition here. I literally would play any of these. The points, the rebounds, the assists, the PRA. I just think this game could be very stackable if you're trying to put together an entry over there on Underdog. Now, I'm not a big fan of playing any game where I'm running out multiple plays from that game. I guess as I'm trying to say is I'm always concerned about the NBA blowout. So I'll say this. While I have kind of rushed into this and I've looked at 3 of the marquee players from this game, this is my NBA first look. Again, I showed that NBA officials in the beginning of my video. I don't know if any of those ended up making yesterday's video. I just don't. I don't remember. But what you get on the YouTube is more of a compass for you. It's say, hey, these are interesting spots. Here's the news you need to be aware of based on the injury reports. These lines might look a little low or too high, and you want to grab the unders. That's my goal, is to put you on the right path, to give you some information and insight, hopefully a little bit of entertainment along the way. And then you go off and you find ways to make yourself some money. You can go research, you can use my products, do whatever you want. If you're a VIP, we're going to do it for you. You've outsourced your time to us. You're going to go 4-2, be up 33.82 units in 29 days. They're just 2 totally different things. So I'll say this. If you're enjoying YouTube, like the video. I will be here daily. NBA, NFL. Go check my YouTube feed as well. There's going to be an NFL Week 12 game picks predictions video should go live out this morning by 10 to 11 a.m. There's already one for Thursday Night Football on my feed. And if you're a VIP, hey, thanks for watching. And also, you'll get the picks inside Discord and on the Tails app. Link down below. So, out of all the players, what do I like the most? Well, 2 of them. First off, Alperen Sengun, rebounds and assists. If Jarrett Allen and the length and help from Evan Mobley ends up being too much for him, and he cannot score very well in this game. I still like his rebounds and assist column simply because I can see him going for 12 or 13 boards. And then on the flip side, if he doesn't, he's always got the upside of 9, 8, 8, 9 assists, which can help him hit the over 16 and a half rebounds and assists. Truly, Alperen Sengun at 30 plus minutes for an RA category is just so nice looking. Here's another sneaky play. It's Lonzo Ball. His minutes have been secured. Going to play about 22 to 26 minutes any given night. And he's playing much better basketball this season for the Cavs than he did for the Bulls. As you can see, he's hit the over in 11 as well. By the way, I'll say this as well. I'm going to get to a bunch of plays today. Sengun, Lonzo, short list of my plays. Don't know what's going to end up being official. As far as game picks, spreads, money lines, totals, I'm just going to have to lean on the 10,000 simulations model, which is not out yet. An underdog, you got to make me pick one today. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm simply going to keep it at Alperen Sengun, rebounds and assists. But as I have covered, there are a handful of really interesting looking plays there. By the way, I'm not going to spend too much time looking at the game logs and player cards today, but I get this from using my website. That link's down below as well. And I just like to sort the top season hit rates, and I check through and I see, okay, interesting, a lot of green. Let me go check them out, check out their matchup, and go from there. Ultimately, what I use the most here are going to be the player projections and game projections from the site. And I dabble a little bit in the prop optimizers when I have some extra time for some volume on some of these sites. All right, let's go. More picks to make. Next up, we've got Charlotte and the Pacers. Could actually be interesting for betting purposes. You know, it's one of those games where you're like, I ain't not touching this with a 10-foot pole. But truly, you might be able to today. Injuries galore up and down both these teams. Important players on both sides. Topin, Naismith, Quentin Jackson, Tyrese Halliburton. They're missing bodies here. And players that were playing decent minutes on the other side. Grant Williams, Brandon Miller. Like some key players in this game. But that kind of opens up like a minutes funnel. And what I mean by that is this. Often with the NBA, it's all based on the rotations, how many minutes are opened up for individual players. This is actually part of the reason why we highlighted in the beginning of the season that, hey, temper expectations for the betting models for the first 10 days or so, first 10 games, ultimately was about 2 weeks. What we needed to do is accrue data and information on how these coaches are going to use their rotations for this season. What players are earning certain roles? What are they expected to do? And that changes from season to season on about 80% of the league. You get about 20% of those players that they're locked into like, hey, this is what they do. This is how they run their normal rotations. Like for years, we've seen Kevin Durant do A, B, and C from year to year, regardless of team. That's kind of that just veteran presence, and they're known entities, and you know what you get. 80% of the league, you don't know from season to season what you're getting out of these players or how the coaches will use them. So we gather data. We now know their minutes. And now we can project minutes better, which fine tunes what the projections are. And those projections are 37 and 10 over the last 12 games. 37 and 10 player prop picks projections for the VIPs. That is a ridiculous run. And a few of those wins have been out of games like this. So let's take a quick peek and see if I can find any. For instance, Pascal Siakam continues to jack up so many shots, and he's playing solid minutes. Siakam always been one of those guys that can really stat pad here when he plays a lot of minutes. There was a time when he was playing 40 minutes per game for Toronto and putting up ridiculous numbers. And while he's not playing 40 anymore, he's still getting like low to mid 30s every single game, blowout or not. He's out there on the court. And in a matchup against the Hornets, that could be just a sloppy affair between these two teams. I think he's got to be on your short list here to score some buckets tonight. Andrew Nembhard, another player, same exact type of situation without Naismith and Halliburton. Listen, Mathurin returned last game, and I think, put a dent in his upside, and we saw that. Mathurin back in the fold, and I think he's got an opportunity here if he continues to get more and more minutes. He's going to have some opportunities to score some buckets. I mean, 16 field goal attempts in just 25 minutes was solid to see. I think he essentially is going to be their primary scorer. So while this does look high for who he has been through his career, I mean, look at guys like Lauri Markkanen right now. Sometimes all they need is the specific role and a perfect setup. Markkanen averaging 30 points per game, scored another 33 last night against the Lakers. shooters, they get those minutes, then there's no one else around them that can score or be relied upon to score. So they end up getting 20 something shots a game. Markkanen, look back at the Bulls days, averaging 14 field goal attempts per game for the Bulls. Goes to Cleveland last year, shoots the ball 14.8, I believe is exact field goal attempt number per game. This season, 21 field goal attempts per game for the Jazz. And he is shooting 9.9 or something like that, threes per game, literally 10 threes per game. And Markkanen now has gone from being a 17, 18 point scorer to 24, 25, and now 30 points per game this season for the Jazz. Sometimes that perfect storm for stat padding happens. And hey, the Pacers are about to give that to Benedict Mathurin. They're missing so many key rotational players. They don't have other players on their team, not many, that can create their shots at will or shoot from the outside. And Mathurin's sliding into that role on a team that I believe is, off the top of my head, 2-12. So yeah, maybe if you don't like it today, because you're like, well, what's his minutes? Is he going to be that efficient off 25 minutes again? Are they going to let him just run now 30 plus minutes? Now that's up to you what you want to do. But again, this is the compass for you. He's worth watching from day to day. All right, Warriors, Heat. Bam Adebayo is questionable in this one. We still have no Hero and Terry Rozier. Oh no, don't let me go down that path. Warriors did not submit anything overnight. They played a late game on the West Coast. Actually, that's interesting. Now I think about it, they played on the road against the Magic. So that was East Coast game. This is a second leg of a back-to-back for a team with a bunch of old heads. I'm curious to see if we get Curry or Butler missing tonight's game. And I'll say this, if one of them misses, I like the other. Curry has just been red hot as of late. It's been wild, 46, 49, 34. But you can see the underdog news here. He does sit second leg of back-to-backs, especially road back-to-backs at this point in his career. He is aging, but my goodness, the ageless wonder. When he gets hot, nobody can get as hot as he is. He's an absolute microwave. On top of that, tweaking his ankle in the first half yesterday, still played through it, played well. If he ends up sitting, I would be interested in Jimmy Butler's probably overall PRA today at 33.5. Should get all the usage he could handle. And we don't even have the tertiary players here. We can't even look at, Podziemski and Moody, Gary Payton, Buddy Hield, all those types of players. So I think we're kind of stuck here. I will say this, there are some interesting plays here that you can find. There it is. Andrew Wiggins, he's out there for a lot of minutes. He's got the length. He's playing hard. He's playing better defense this season. And man, he's got a block in 12 of 14 games this season. That's pretty nice to see. Only available on Hard Rock right now. Let's see. Are there steals category? Steals is there. So we might have stocks. Let's see. Nope. Doesn't look like any books or apps have it out there. But hey, if you're on Hard Rock, maybe the steals category is an interesting one. Let's check last season. How did he do? Not too bad there. Not too bad. 65% of the games he did have a steal. All right, let's move on. We might find some better spots here. Toronto and Philly. Actually, let's go by underdog over here. What is the next game? Oh, I skipped it. I should have done that. Toronto and Philly. Let's get to it. Take a look at the injury report and keep on going. So the Raptors are missing some bodies, but listen, all their key cogs are essentially active, ready to rock and roll, not even on the injury report. Of course, on the other side, Joel Embiid, doubtful. Paul George will be sitting. Jared McCain is available. Not getting many minutes. Honestly, very interesting. I thought he'd be playing more minutes right now. And I don't know if maybe they're protecting him or something. He showed some serious promise last year, shot 46% from the floor, 38 from downtown, averaged 15 points per game in just 25 minutes. Maybe they're just protecting him, managing his minutes, recovering from surgery. Who knows? Kelly Oubre is out in this one. Essentially, we're going to get another Tyrese Maxey show here. And this could be an epic opportunity for the youngster, the rising superstar. Believe it or not, he is so good out there. There's going to be an abundance of minutes. The field goal attempts could literally be 25 or 30 by the end of this if it's a close game. I just don't know who else is going to go out there and steal shots from him. McCain is a guy that could have stolen shots should he have been playing the minutes he needs to be able to do so, because he's a very good offensive player at this stage of his young career entering season 2. The problem is there is no Embiid, no Paul George, PG-13, and no Kelly Oubre. These guys were usually good for it last season when playing. almost 50 field goal attempts per game. That is a lot of field goal attempts and a lot of usage that is opening up here. Now, VJ Edgecombe's going to get some shots up as well, but you know that his volume ain't nothing like Tyrese Maxey's. Maxey's points prop is at 31.5. Listen, it's an uncomfortable number, but you got to look at this situation as essentially like we would bet on Luka or SGA, where on any given night, these guys can shoot 25 plus times. He shot the ball, literally, I'm telling you, 27 times and got to the rack 10 times. You're looking at over 30 actual attempts in this game. There's literally nothing that can change tonight. Foul trouble or a blowout would be the only two reasons why he doesn't take that many field goal attempts. He's averaging 24 field goal attempts per game, and that's with the revolving door of Kelly Oubre in the lineup or out of the lineup, Paul George in for a game here and that. Last game against the Clippers still had 39. Joel Embiid in and out of the lineup. Like these three main players on their starting five have been in and out of the lineup all year, and he's averaged 24 field goal attempts per game. Tonight will be the first game of the season where every single one of them is out. How in the world will my man not shoot the ball close to 30 times? Yeah, it's uncomfortable of taking a 31.5 point prop, but you do it for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You do it for Luka Doncic. You do it for Giannis. Why aren't we doing it for Tyrese Maxey with this field goal attempt opportunity? And the minutes could be insane. So yeah, this one's on my short list. Again, nothing here is official. It's very early in the morning. I'm trying to prepare you for your day of betting. And I'll also say this real quick. I'm kind of toggling between Novig and Underdog. If you would like to try them out, use code DONUTS, DONUTS. You'll get a nice industry best promotional, and it helps me out. It's a nice way to support free content. All right, we got 5 other games here. Kings on the road against the Thunder. That might be an absolute bloodbath. Makes me a little nervous to bet on those players. Pelicans and Thunder, same exact thing. Nervous to bet on these players. I mean, we just saw this happen the other day where the Thunder won by 17 points against the Pelicans, this Pelicans team that the Nuggets are playing. And SGA scored 23 points, only played like 28 minutes off the top of my head. I'm nervous about the same exact thing happening here. Same thing happening here to Jokic. So I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to lean on whatever the model says for these two. I'm going to skip them and really try to identify some better spots to bet on. Another similar situation here. Jaden McDaniels, always somebody I like looking at in some of these blowout spots against the Wizards, 16.5 point spread. These games are difficult for player props. You can look at some unders. I think those are better in games like this than overs. So let's skip them. We got 2 other interesting spots to discuss, actually, to make some money on. So let's get to it. Knicks on the road to face Dallas. Listen, the Knicks are missing a key piece here. It's the only reason why the spread is not probably, 10.5. Let's go look at their injury report, and I'll read it off to you, and you'll see why. So they're missing both Jalen Brunson. Oh, by the way, wow, he got upgraded to questionable. They are missing OG Anunoby and Jalen Brunson. It's a Karl Anthony show, Karl Anthony Town show. On the other side, Anthony Davis out. That's a big deal. I didn't realize Cooper Flagg's been on the injury report. He's been playing, no problems. Been playing very inefficient ball. I'll also say that. So let's go over here, take a peek at these last 2 games, see if we got any other bangers here to close out this video for you. So Karl Anthony Towns continues to play solid minutes, has good rebounding upside and good scoring upside, and the assist will come and go. My initial read here would be to take the points and rebounds combination because he could go for 15 rebounds, but he could also pop off for 30 plus points. So 2 games here, no OG, no Jalen Brunson. He had 26 field goal attempts in this game against Miami, and he had 19 field goal attempts last game. If he's shooting the ball that much, oh yeah, I love it. Now, of course, a lot of that will change if Jalen Brunson ends up playing. Then I'd be fearful of these lines. Centers are averaging 18.4 points per game in the paint against the Dallas Mavericks. That's the most in the NBA. No team in the NBA has given up more points in the paint to opposing centers. So I'm thinking tonight, the only thing I really care about, despite the fact that I do like the rebounds for Cat, is his points. I mean, he literally has the best matchup in the NBA for a center that can score buckets in the paint. And Cat can do that. Yeah, he'll shoot up some threes and take a few outside shots, but he gets most of his points in the paint here. Mavs are also giving up the 3rd most field goal attempts to opposing centers. We already just talked about it. No OG, guaranteed, potentially no Jalen Brunson. So the field goal attempt opportunity might have already been high. Now we've got a matchup against the Mavs, who are giving up the third most field goal attempts and the most points in the paint per game. Overall, giving up the fourth most points per game, 25 per game to opposing centers. There's a lot to like there out of this line, but it is entirely contingent on whether or not that we have no Jalen Brunson. If Brunson is out, I absolutely love this line. But to be honest, you're probably going to have to wait for the Brunson news. And the other thing that kind of stinks about that, my friends, is if Brunson ends up getting ruled out, I got a feeling people are going to slam this line. It moves to 26. Check. Okay, just had a weird technical difficulty on my end. I don't know what's going to happen during the editing phase. If you caught this here and you did watch it, well, now I know who watched the whole video. Let's get back to it. Last game, my Chicago Bulls playing with heart and soul out there this season. I absolutely love to see it. Trey Jones questionable tonight. Might open up some minutes for Dosunmu. Trailblazers have not put anything out. I don't know who's going to be in or out yet. So let's take a peek and see what we can make together. We got a nice 2.5 point spread. This could be another barn burner. Bulls coming off a big win against the Nuggets. You know, Josh Giddey continues to perform. Triple doubles left and right this season. Been wild to see his progression as an NBA player this year. I talked about it in the previous video. If Drew Holiday missed, that Shadon Sharp was going to go bonkers, and he did. Had 34 PRA last game, scored another 29 points. He's been popping off lately. Field goal attempt opportunity is going to be there, my friends. Absurd. 32 field goals a couple days ago. That's silly. He's got a 33% usage rate this season. So if Drew Holiday is out again, I think we're going to see more of the same here. Again, this is the last two games right here. These two games are without Drew Holiday. He's at 34 PRA, and then, of course, in this one, 46, and he's scored a ton. 36 and 29 points, played 38 and 30 minutes, 39 and 37% usage rate in those two games. He took 32 and 24 field goal attempts. I would look right here. I would not overthink it. If Drew Holiday ends up missing, Shadon Sharp, 30-plus minutes, almost a 40% usage rate, and has averaged 29 field goals shot, field goal attempts in those games. That's crazy, crazy numbers. I also think if Drew misses, I'm more interested in Josh Giddey and his RA in this game, because Drew Holiday, one of those guys that can rack up some rebounds at the guard position. If he's out, you know, Shadon Sharp has looked okay, but he's definitely not the same type of rebounder. If he's on the court for 40 minutes, getting a bigger role, and he's inefficiently shooting. By the way, I mean, he only made 12 field goal attempts in those two games, despite the fact that he shot the ball 58 times. So, yeah, I'd be interested in Giddey's RA on the season. He's been really good. Set the over in 8 of 11 games. All right. Hope today's video was helpful. I'm trying to put you on the right path. That was my first look at each game, all their lines. You watched me do it live in this video. Now, I've got to go dig deeper into all the data, kind of like I did with Karl-Anthony Towns, where I was talking about the points in the paint, given up by the Mavs, field goal attempts to centers, things like that. I need to dive into every single game, all the nitty-gritty and all those metrics, and try to find people some good wins. The VIP models will get posted later this morning. I will repost them on Tails and Discord. And of course, you'll get a few picks from me. VIP link, first link down below if you're interested. Thanks for watching today. Hit that like button on your way out. Drop a comment if you're enjoying all the information I'm giving in these NBA videos. I'm really hoping to grow my NBA presence on YouTube, just like my NFL has grown very much this season. Hopefully, I see you Thursday morning at 9 a.m. That's tomorrow morning for the NFL Thursday Night Football show to talk about my Buffalo Bills, baby. Can't wait to do it. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Check my YouTube feed. There's videos up there waiting for you for NFL Week 12.